and it's not going too well?
Um, it's going okay. It's not like the best, but I feel like it's helping.
Yeah, I mean, I think learning new heroes or anything new is always going to have a, I call it the J curve, where you start at level and you go down first, and then in the long run you go up. That's the idea, at
Yeah.
least. I mean, so before I ask you more questions about that, what would your goal be for today's session? Then, are you wanting to focus on one of the new heroes? Are you wanting what do you want from me today?
Um, yeah, I could start with one of start with one of the new heroes.
Okay, is there a hero you've particularly enjoyed, or one that you would at least like to learn more about, or
Um, you I did in that Sunday class. The Greenman suggested Weaver as one of the heroes for my playstyle,
okay?
and it was a Weaver. And I did, I am liking Weaver as a hero, especially with the Deso Shard build.
Yeah, he's kind of similar to Anti-Mage and Void in the sense that he's like mobile and survivable, but he comes online a lot earlier in that way.
Yeah, so in the
Um,
start of like the first, I don't know, 3, 4 games, I was like learning very quickly and winning like 3 out of 4 of the games. Even though the first one was a bit of a throw, but like it was fun.
what's happened since then?
Um, I don't think I've only played like 1 game of him though since those 4 games, and it was a loss.
So
I
would
felt
you
like
like to spend today's session mainly on Weaver, or how would you envision today? Like what did you have in mind for your replays and stuff?
uh, yeah, I would like to learn more about Weaver.
Okay. Um so what was your MMR last time? Like or like before you started the spam, I guess specifically? Or like before you started new heroes?
3550, I think.
Okay, so you're in as of filling out the form, you're around 3400. Is that where are you at now?
I'm now at 3300.
Okay, gotcha. So it's going down a little bit. I mean, that happens to me as well when I'm learning
Yeah.
new heroes. Is it affecting your enjoyment of the game or anything like that?
Um, I wouldn't say so, no.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna talk about Weaver. And is there anything else you'd like to walk away with today? Is there like a second hero suggestion or anything like that? Or, what you mentioned, like you tend to get bored playing other heroes a bunch of times in a row. Like, what's your intent coming out of this session, roughly speaking? Like, would you like to play predominantly Weaver, or how would you generally go about this?
I also he also suggested the 2 heroes he suggested were Weaver and Tiny. Weaver, I don't think I ever played prior to him saying it, but I only played it as a support like once or twice. And playing it as carry feels a lot better. And
Hmm.
then Tiny, I l- when I used to play mid, I used to play Tiny a little bit, same with offlane kind of. But when I played carry, I played him like once. So playing him again as a carry feels good, especially since he's like really good right now.
Hmm. So you're enjoying Tiny as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it seems like you. What do you? Okay, so I see decent similarities between Weaver and then like Faceless Void and Anti-Mage, but like, what is your, and you said Greenman suggested these based on your playstyle. Like, how would you describe your playstyle? Given like I think he's more tempo like Weaver, but I wouldn't say he has much in common with Void and Anti-Mage.
I mean, they're all like really like they all like to fight kind of early, less so Void, but he can still fight early because of Chrono.
You
Like
you
they
you
only need like 1 or 2 items, right?
you consider Anti-Mage a hero that likes to fight early?
No, he's on the other extreme. I feel like I go on one of the 2 extremes. I
Oh,
never like
you
really settle in the middle.
okay, so you like to be on one of the two extremes of tempo or late game, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. and Faceless Void kind of in the middle because he can fight sometimes, but generally more of a late gamer. Is that how you would consider him, or do you have a different
Yeah.
perspective? Okay. So Tiny, it's funny because I'd put I guess if I only heard you say Anti-Mage and Faceless Void, I would not think of you being on one extreme or the other. I would just think of you on one extreme. But that makes sense that you don't mind playing like the high tempo carries either. Tempo side and Anti-Mage Void on the late game. Okay. And so you said you had like dabbled in other roles, like playing support Weaver and mid Tiny and stuff, but do you think that helped you playing them carry, or did it make it easier or harder?
Mechanically, yeah, but like in terms of the actual game and what they want to do, a little bit, but not like a lot.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. So would your goal for today be like one Weaver, one Tiny thing, or replay, or like how would you want to go about it?
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. Okay, then let's just jump right into it. Who do you want to start with?
Weaver,
Okay.
most recent Weaver game, which was like a couple days ago.
Okay. You can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes I fail miserably at sharing that, so. It's a bit of a tough Weaver game against Axe, and you don't scale the best versus TB.
Yeah, I did feel that later on.
Generally, I would consider going Maelstrom against TB or PL. I'm not saying it's absolutely correct, but that's pretty much the only time I would go that, as opposed to Deso.
Yeah, that's the hero I've been losing almost every game to now.
Is TB or
PL.
PL? Yeah. Yeah, so I think Weaver pretty much always has like one build that's better than the other most of the time, and then there's games where like there's exceptions. So I think every patch there's been like you either go Maelstrom or Deso, and I think that there's been patches where Maelstrom was the general better option, and then there's patches where Deso is the better option. I think Deso Shard is the better option right now. But if it makes it really difficult for you to scale against the enemy carry, it's worth considering, especially against Axe as well, who buys a lot of armor and has a lot of armor, so your Deso doesn't really do much to him either.
Yeah, I
And
feel like I'm just learning the hero, so I just
yeah,
wanted to stick to one build.
yeah, of course. I do think as you're learning the hero, though, it can be pretty straightforward to understand. Like, meaning as long as you're paying attention for it, that like there's certain archetypes of heroes that the standard build doesn't work on, and then you would pivot to the Maelstrom for that.
Yeah.
That's just my thoughts there. But I think it's fine for now that you predominantly stick to one build. Okay. So I think a really important mechanic on Weaver is to have this be on altcast, or like have it where altcast toggles your hockey. Fuck, where is it? I think it would just be. Is it? So like if I go to heroes, you know what I'm talking about or no?
I feel like I do, but I'm not too sure. I'm not really good with keybinds and stuff.
Okay, so I literally like, this is one of those things where it's so muscle memory for me. I literally need to go into a lobby and click it. I don't actually consciously know what I'm doing. Okay. Can you go into? Do you have Dota open on your computer right now?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, can
Let
you
me.
go into Dota and level yourself to level 2 on Weaver, and then whatever your hotkey for Geminate is, can you click Alt plus that hotkey and see if it turns it off?
It does, yeah.
Okay. So that's definitely something you've never worked with before if you're predominant. I mean, you may have like seen it before or something, heard of it, but for me, that's really important on Weaver because your Geminate's really important for securing certain creeps, and we don't want it to just cast off cooldown. And then also, I don't know if you know this, but if you click somebody, like if you just right-click somebody and Geminate's automatically on, then you will draw creep aggro. But if you use E to cast it, then it will not draw creep aggro.
Oh, like, yeah, I
So like
see.
it's just like a drow queue or something like that. So I consider it a very useful thing to learn this mechanic, and I know you're gonna have other things to do while you're learning Weaver, but I would keep that in mind as like maybe after 10 to 15 games. You can even start now if you'd like, but I think it is very important to learn to use this where I turn it off and on. And so like I usually have it off by default, and then I'll click a hero with my E, and then if I need to like go for the range creep, I'll often use it. I'll use it plus Sakuchi if I need to. Let me know if you have questions about that. Are you following a skill build guide, or how are you deciding what your skill build is?
Um, I'm just going off intuition.
Okay.
Just
Yeah,
just what
so
I feel like is good.
yeah, so for me, whenever my support is like a kill hero, I think this ability is like really good. So Witch Doctor, when he has this type of build, is looking to kill people. So like if AA walks over here and you Sakuchi on top of him with bugs, he'll die for sure. So I would just keep that in mind that I almost always have a point in bugs at level 3, unless my support hero is like super fucking useless and chill. Bugs is just a really strong spell where if you put them in a position where they need to run away from you, like they get maledicted basically in this lane. Yeah, so this is just something I would have wanted to have access to before level 4. But it looks like you know to do it, so.
Yeah, I feel like I had one of my like 3 games out of one before I did like 2-2-1 or something like that.
Ah. I don't think I've ever really put a second point in this. It does make it take an extra attack, I guess, which is nice. Yeah, generally for me, you want Sakuchi maxed out by level 7, so I don't generally put a second point in either of his other 2 spells. Nice. Okay, we're owning. Very good. Gotta get that Lotus. Rip. Wow. So I
I think I remember.
respect this rotation. I guess just for me, so Weaver's a very active carry. So the worst thing you can do is have control of your lane like this after getting a kill, have like low resources, have like a Lotus to get, which is gonna reset you on resources, and then try to help another lane. So something you're gonna need to find the balance of as a tempo carry is to basically have this sense of how many resources you're investing in your own lane. Because however many resources you're investing, that means you don't have those resources for other lanes. You're basically thinking like a mid. So, like, I would never tell a mid who's half HP, half mana to TP to a side lane. And it's the same for you,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Okay.
So this just basically, this was like a, I understand what you're going for, but I can tell you this is like a pretty huge, this ruins your game really fucking hard. Like, this ruins your game. Because you were free farming bottom, you were level 6, Axe was level 5 when he respawned. You know, like if we look at you just got that double kill, like let's look at previously to you TPing mid. So like you get this double kill, you're chilling, look at the net worths, right? You're actually only 300 above Axe even after getting a double kill, but you're a full level ahead of him. So 300 above him, full level, and then by the time you die, you know, Axe is ahead of you by 100 and he's caught up to you by a full level. He's actually ahead of you in levels, and now you don't have a TP to go back. I know it's like really easy to say in hindsight 2020, but that's pretty much always going to happen if you're heavily investing resources in your lane and you try to do things in other lanes. That's pretty much always going to happen. Let me know if you have questions about that or thoughts about, was it kind of just an instinctual TP when you did it?
I felt like I remember Pango being like, "The hostile's low. We should probably kill him and like stop him from snowballing."
Yeah,
Like to that degree.
that makes sense. Most important skill on a tempo carry is to know when it doesn't apply to you. That's the most important skill. Because you have this capability to move around the map. And I would not be surprised. I may be over exaggerating. I would not be surprised if your win percentage dropped like 25% in that minute. Yeah, this is the move you TP. Look at this. I want to show you this, not to rub it in your face. I want to show it how bad it is if you TP somewhere when you're low resources. Like, what happens is if you're low resources, you can hear Pango, and that just means, hey, I can't help. That's like the proper response for you. And I just want you to see like what happens when you do that. Like I was not exaggerating when I said that actually ruined your fucking game. So I mean, obviously we can still play the game and it's good to play from here. But when I make those rotations, like yeah, it's quite punishing on these tempo carries. So I get that. If you're likely to be extreme one way or the other, where you go hyper late game or hyper, tempo, I think it is going to be essential for you to basically, perhaps, I don't remember I don't remember this being a problem when you played Void, but like you might need to fight a bit more on Anti-Mage, and you might need to fight a bit less on heroes like Weaver. Like you might need to bring it in from the extremes a little bit. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
That might be a problem. Not entirely certain. Okay. So I was watching, who was I watching yesterday? It was Yuma playing. Is Yuma playing? Oh, it's Thompson stream. I think he has his videos disabled, right? Either way, he was playing. It's Yuma playing Weaver, and what Weaver basically does is he like pile drives the offlane into submission, like just slowly but surely wearing them down. Offers a lot of kill threat. It sucks to be an offlaner against you. And the way that I've talked to offlane players about like you win your lane and you control it, that's actually Weaver. Like that's the way he plays the safe lane. So he's all about staying in his lane as much as possible. And once you've established firm control of your lane, or you've lost control of your lane, then you are allowed to leave, basically. Do you see what I'm going for with that like mentality?
Yeah.
Okay. So the main thing to focus on is like when I say firm control of your lane, it's like you've won your lane and you have enough resources to help other lanes. So I would think of it as like if I go to this fight, I could potentially return to my lane and still be fine with the amount of resources that I have. So like you TP, you go through the gate to top, you take the tower, and then you like TP back bottom, and that feels good. But like if you're leaving with low resources, you're probably coming back with or whatever resources you leave with, you're probably coming back with lower resources than what you left with. So there kind of needs to be that buffer there. Like for the short term, I think you would be better off. Like if we talk about like going the same build every game and stuff, I think you would be better off never leaving your lane for the first 12 minutes. Like it's not that that's a long-term fix, but it's like I would want you to focus purely on how do I min-max the control in my own lane as Weaver, because that is really essential as a first step to knowing when to rotate or not. That's just a recommendation. If you choose not to do it, it's understandable. But I think that would be the best way for you to learn this.
I'll probably try and do it as much as possible.
Yeah. More of like a short term, like just get a sense of your lane, and then all the times where you think I could have gone there and it would have been fine, then in the future you can apply it that way. Oh. Okay. Yeah, the game's just really hard now, but let's fast forward. I mean, looks like the game gets interesting. Yeah, so you're definitely overzealous to TP to things. So in this case, like I'm thinking I'm 900 gold until Deso. I'm in recovery mode. It's really hard as a tempo carry to acknowledge that you are in recovery mode. It's really hard to do that. It's like there's games as anti-mage where you just have to fight with your team at minute 10. Those games are really hard to identify because the majority of games you want to be farming a Battle Fury. The same thing goes for Weaver in the opposite direction. Like, I would need you to be like, oh, I had a really good start to this game. Like, I really got stunted by what just happened there. I need to fucking chill. Like, really hard. And just finish my item. I make this mistake all the time, by the way. Like,
Yeah.
it's a very easy mistake to make. I'm just letting you know that, like, I know the pressure of you're a tempo carry, you're against a Terrorblade, like, it's better to, like, feel like you should be fighting now. Like, this is a, you know, Quakeful would call this a BSJ TP, where it's like, dude, just recover, play for your farm. Instead, you're trying to, like, help your team. You know, we just need to let our team carry us for the next 800 gold. That's basically what we just have to do. Arguably, even until Shard. Like, depending on the exact game state, but you'd be more willing to show up to fights when you have Deso, but you might not still, basically. I mean, it ends up like you go chill and farm, which is fine. It's still not ideal that you like TP'd here and like now you have to TP or like go back to top. Notice how you kind of naturally return to the same area that you were in. That means like you were in a good area. Yeah, we're going for this before Deso, sadly. We do get the Terrorblade, nice. Okay, nice. It's a lot different if you just like go through the gate for your natural farming pattern and you join your team that way than it is to like TP back to your own tier 2. That's like a very different fight, by the way. One's like kind of natural and the other one's like, you know, responding to what your team is doing, basically. So like in this exact instance, because your TP's down for 20 seconds, I would walk bottom. Okay, looks like you're walking bottom. Nice. Very nice. Yeah, you have Deso now. It's good to go. Very good. Terrorblade's thrown a little bit. Very good. I have to imagine you're a little afraid of okay, Axe is showing mid. Never mind. Okay. This is a point where I think you guys are strong. You have your shard plus Deso. I definitely think you should purchase a wand here. Like, if not already, then by now you would want to purchase a wand because you're ready to fight. But your team, so we want to connect to our team here for sure. What are you thinking at this stage of the game?
I mean, I still feel like I'm fight ready. It's just because they're probably going to want to Roche with Husker, and then it's just trying to get a fight that's like not bad into Roche,
Hmm. That makes sense.
and then that happens.
So what are your thoughts on why this fight might have gone poorly?
Um, I mean, it's like they're probably going to show up to like contest this and then go Roche themselves, but like us fighting into a tier one with everyone where they are, it doesn't feel good.
Yeah, so this is a game where they have a blink initiator, you have I think he has blink. You have a blink initiator, and both teams have a lot of burst, right?
Yeah.
So what that means is we don't take this fight on towers, because vision and information is all that matters. So this would be a 5-man smoke, like, through their triangle or something like this to get a pick off into a tower. You know, the type of fights we take, it's like if we want them to fight into us, then we push towers. If we want to, like, jump them before they jump us, we fight outside of towers. So the fact that we're, like, hitting this tower is the problem in the first place. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Who are we supposed to go for then? Because like going on Axe seems kind of like eh.
Axe is the
And then
best
the other
target,
two,
for sure.
Yeah, he's like the one that like wins in the fight, but like it feels like if he's the one we go on, then there's going to be an AA and a Dark Willow sitting behind him.
I mean, if you catch Axe, they have no game. Like, they can't do anything, in my opinion. Like, he's
Yeah,
their setup for everything. So A's spells will miss. Willow's spells will have no impact. For me, it's like if Axe doesn't do this, they don't win the fight, basically. So I would 100% target Axe or Willow, but ideally Axe. But the idea of a smoke gank off map is that you're not taking some honest 5v5 where you're assuming all of them are there. You're like quickly bursting a guy with Batrider Lasso or, you know, potentially Pango Roll. So the thing about Weaver is that he's kind of like Slark in the sense that he doesn't really want to take honest fights. He wants like skirmishes that are kind of chaotic and the supports get forgotten about in the back and Axe like jumps past people and you're like cleaning up the AA behind. Like that's how Weaver generally wants to play. Like, yeah, these type of fights where it's just super chaotic and he cleans up. But it's just something to keep in mind that with Weaver, you're not often hitting a building to start a fight.
yeah.
Very rarely is that the case. Unless you have like Aegis and Satanic or something. Okay, so you're farming it up. I get the S and Y against Axe. Okay. Yep, that's fine. Go back towards bottom. Yeah. I think you're a little overly scared of Terrorblade. You can just Sakuchi past him. Axe is the only hero that threatens you. So since I saw Axe top, I would have definitely stayed bottom here. But you end up going back, which is good. Just a bit late, I would say. I'm curious what had you leave this area here, basically. Like, you see this and you leave. I'm curious what your thoughts are.
What do you mean see what?
Like, you see this map state. You see Huskar here, Axe here, and Terrorblade TP here, and you leave. And I'm curious, well, what made you decide to leave this area? Like, you bugged it very cautiously and left.
During the game, I feel like I just didn't want to be near any enemy heroes one on one
I see.
because yeah, they can just make it 2v1 and I'm just dead like instantly, no matter who's with who.
That's great if they're missing. But, like, they're not, right?
Yeah,
So, I totally get your mindset. All I'm trying to say is that as Weaver, oftentimes there's going to be one or two heroes that threaten you, and they have to be a part of those two. In this case, like, debatably, Huskar with Blink kind of threatens you, but I think even with time-lapse, like, unless you have, like, Terrorblade right on top of you or something, like, you're not going to die. So, like, in this case, I would want you to think, like, this Terrorblade alone is not a threat, and that I would Sakuchi through this wave and, like, into my Sakuchi over here with the shard going off, and then, like, I clear the wave. And then what's going to happen there is because you stayed bottom, like, against the guy that's, like, bad against you, like, Terrorblade doesn't kill you because he has no detection and no way to lock you down. He doesn't have, like, an Orchid or anything. So by staying near him, you're setting up good things naturally. So, like, your Batrider TP's bottom here. But because you leave and put yourself away on the map towards, like, the other guys, like, now I want to show that you naturally found yourself going back bottom. Do you see this? Like, you see Axe and you're like, oh,
yeah,
I'm going to go back bottom anyway. And I'm just trying to show you that by leaving the area that was good for you, you end up going back there and it's a bit late. So, like, you have like a good sense of, I need to go back here and help my team. But I also want to kind of show you this is why your teammates TP like this. It's like something people don't articulate, but they do. Like, Dota players have very good intuition on this kind of stuff. Like, it's very likely to happen in your games. Like, you're not, like, 3K is a high enough rank nowadays that people have really good Dota knowledge. So, yeah, I just want to show you that yes, two heroes are threatening to you here, but we have to be more specific, basically. And I understand that right now you don't, like, you're still learning Weaver, so your game sense is not going to be perfect or anything like that. I guess I would just mainly say I'm looking at the minimap to identify specifically the one or two heroes that threaten me. And this isn't as much like you should have known better. This is something to keep an eye out for in the future. um, sort of thing. Um, okay. So interesting fight. Okay, worked out. Wow. Nice, nice, nice. Very nice. Badly, terribly, it's just yeah, the map resource battle here is tough because yeah. Ugh. Brutal. Um I don't think there's too much for you to learn past this on Weaver specifically. I think if there's one big takeaway, I think your overall fight sense is quite good. I think that if we were to have you assume to play your lane mainly for the first 10 to 12 minutes and just not have that one rotation, basically,
Yeah,
where we get you hitting your timings. Because for Weaver and Tiny, the like Weaver's a little bit more than Tiny. So both of them, though, it's really important they hit their own timings. It's really important because they're both threshold heroes. It's like Weaver either threatens you with like a Sakuchi plus 2 autos, or he doesn't, and it feels really bad to play Weaver. Tiny's the same way. He either like kills you in a Shadowblade Echo Saber combo, or he doesn't. Right? Like
yeah,
it's very, very polarizing in that way on both of these heroes. So I think your intuition of when to fight in lane is great. I would have gone for an earlier point in bugs, but like once you had the bugs, you knew exactly what you're supposed to do. So I think that's even fine if you like. It's up. I'll leave that up to you to decide by feel, whether you take bugs in a specific lane or not, because you clearly know what to do with them. Um, you were winning your lane, and you are an active hero in the game, so it makes sense that when your pen goes like, "Hey, this guy's overextending. Like, let's help." Very easy to get suckered into those type of plays. Um,
yeah.
go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
trying to be less aggressive than because like I feel like I get extremely aggressive in those type of plays, and it's just trying to rein that in.
It's easy. Yeah, it's easy to get carried away with it. Exactly.
Yeah,
So for me, the main thing is this whole idea of this is how I think about it, and maybe there's a better way for you to think about it. But the way I think about it is like I think of it as the when you're on an airplane, have you flown on a plane? I don't want to assume that. Have you?
no, I've not been on a plane
Oh
ever.
wow. Okay, so when you go on a plane, they what they tell you, they give you like the air mask instructions. Like they at the very start they give people a tutorial on like, hey, if the plane whatever gets jeopardized,
Yeah,
put the air mask on. And they always say to put your air mask on before you help other people. Um and so for me it's like the metaphor in my head that I have is like I need to make sure my air mask is on before I try to put my teammates' air mask on. So you're going to have times where you win your lane really hard as Weaver and your other lanes are struggling but you're winning your lane at the cost of your resources. Like you're spending a lot of health and mana and you're trading back and forth and you haven't put your air mask on until you're winning your lane and you have resources, if that makes sense.
yeah,
And then you can go help other people. Um and so that's how I like to think about Weaver is that resource thing. So if we get you where you're just focused on your lane and you're thinking about not even going to fights, but whether or not you could. Like literally it's like I just want you to think it to yourself ahead of time. Could I go to something? This is like starting at like 5 to 6 minutes. It's
yeah,
either kind of like a yes or no. And rather than giving yourself the choice in that individual game, just kind of keeping an eye out for, okay, I have a good sense now when I'm allowed to go to things, based on my own resources. And then after you feel kind of good about that, then you can just let your intuition go from there and like, release it. Um, and it's just that missing one or two rotations is much less costly than doing the one or two rotations that ruin your game. That's kind of the problem with tempo heroes. Um, is that yeah, you have more agency in the game, but oftentimes you can throw it away in like one bad move. Um, and we've all done it. So, do you have any questions about what I'm saying there?
um, so it's better to like play it safe kind of than to like riskily go mid and then do what I did and it backfired because it backfires like a lot more than some like other heroes.
Yeah, so better to play it safe. I don't disagree with that wording. I guess what I'm trying to say is I think you will learn more over time by mastering control of your own lane, dominating that area, and hitting your timings. And then every time you hit a timing, you go fight, which is what you were already doing. Like, you got your deso, you went and fought with your team. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you know that stuff. It's something that happens on all your other carries. So it's like that itty bit of efficiency you're going to get by that extra rotation that either pressures the enemy carry or, you know, kills the mid that's over aggressive. That stuff is useful, but it's higher risk, high reward for somebody that's just starting out on Weaver. So I wouldn't call it just playing safe. I just say, like, for now, play for your own timings because you're already doing that, meaning like once you hit the timings, you're already using them. So just play for your own timings for now. And then once you, like, you know, you get 25, 50 games of Weaver under your belt, then you can start considering, how do I also look to shut down enemy timings? Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I wouldn't call it playing it safe because in your lane, you're still fighting a lot. You're still battling back and forth. And I'm not telling you to not do that stuff.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
That's still gonna
yeah,
continue, but like
sure.
look at myself first, and then when I'm good on myself, then I can go help someone else.
Exactly. So let's play for our own timings rather than looking to shut down other lanes or alleviate pressure. That can be done later. Cool. Okay. Because I think for you, honestly, there's like, I can see how Weaver, I think it was a good recommendation from Greenman. I think Weaver does fit your playstyle. And I think you've already got a lot of the key components of this. And very rarely do I say this, but unironically, that one move literally ruined your game. Uh,
Yeah.
so I don't say that very often. But like, I remember having a game similarly where I'm like, it's like, that's, it sucks when that happens.
Yeah, it was like 25%, right?
Yeah, you went from 55% to 82%, so 27% shift. The way I look at it is you had a 45% chance to win here, and now you have an 18, so your chance to win the game is less than half of what it was before. And like, it may be, like, the thing is, I think you know the feeling, like, yes, you only made one mistake and we're talking about 4 minutes later, but you feel like you're making up for it this whole time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're like
Yeah.
fighting an uphill battle for the foreseeable future. And that's kind of the sad reality of momentum carries, is that when you lose momentum, it tends to look like that. So
It's even it
yeah.
feels even worse because it's like a Cheeser and Husker, and there's also a Terrorblade to think about. It's
Yeah.
just like two heroes I have to think about all times.
Mm-hmm. I mean, now you're a
And
tempo hero that is forced to recover against a hero that outscales you. And it's like, yeah,
yeah,
that's why I said, like, you know, that moment where if you do make that mistake and you're 700 gold off of Deso, it's okay if your team like naturally ganks towards you, but don't TP and go help them. Basically, it's the same idea.
yeah.
It's not that you should never fight. It's just don't intentionally insert yourself into fights. There's kind of like a big difference there. Cool. Are you ready to move on to the tiny game?
Yeah, yeah.
Cool. I think you've already got a lot of the good makings of how to play Weaver, so I think it's a good match. And if you end up not liking it in the long run, that's fine too. But I think it looks
I mean, I
fun.
probably will. It's kind of a me hero.
Yeah, shout out to Greenman for that recommendation.
Yeah. Yeah, so this game I did win, but like it was hard to like push objectives. Like a lot. Like even though we were just killing them over and over again, it felt like when we killed them, we couldn't really get I couldn't really get objectives.
Did you see that Sumail tiny game at TI from like TI 7 or something where he tossed
Yeah,
Artesian on gyrocopter and stuff?
yeah,
So this is like a tiny problem, what you just said. Not tiny as in a small problem, but the hero problem.
Yeah.
So the problem with Tiny is that he is a threshold hero, and the way that he wins is by as a carry, especially. But that was even as a mid, which is similar. I think Sumail's build at the time was similar. Like it wasn't like the spellcasting build; it was like a hybrid Echo Saber Shadowblade build and stuff. Like I said, he's a threshold hero. So like the problem is that you constantly have to stay above that threshold, and it's often by times of killing the opponent rather than like hitting their buildings and stuff. And if they just keep insisting on running out of base and split pushing you, which they kind of have a lineup like that, PA's annoying, Brood's annoying, IO can kind of be anywhere, then you end up in this spot, especially because you have like a spear breaker and stuff, where you just chase them around the map. And that's just how you have to play. So I just want to let you know that that doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. And that's kind of just a tiny thing. So I would just want that to be like, this is weird. It feels awful, but that is just how Tiny plays. So you're probably doing it right if you're running into that problem, basically. I don't want that to change the way you play in the long run, because there's not really a fix to that. I actually made the mistake of forgetting that yesterday because I played my first carry Tiny game in a while, or 2 days ago.
Yeah, I'm not used to playing carry Tiny all of that much. But it is like here's another good suggestion from Greenman again.
Yeah, no, I think it's awesome that you guys are like helping each other in that way. Okay. So what I love to do in this circumstance when this happens, where your support pulls and you can't really do much about like contesting it, I like to walk these creeps over here.
Yeah, I should get into the habit of doing that because you said that last time.
Yeah. So in this exact instance, I would have actually dropped them off at the small camp, so that I can stay closer to this. That's what I would have done. It's kind of a niche move, but if I mentioned it last time too, then
Not that niche.
yeah, it applies more than I think it does.
Yeah.
So for me, my thought is, why are you going double bracer? Is my question.
I don't know. I just autopilot things.
Gotcha. So Tiny, just like Weaver, is all about thresholds and all about timings. So him getting his like Echo Saber Shadow Blade as soon as possible is like ultra important. So the majority of Tinies will go Tread's Wand straight into Echo Saber. Like there's just very few exceptions. There may be specific lanes where you go Wraithband occasionally because it gives you attack speed and armor because you have 0 in lane.
Yeah.
But HP is just not what Tiny needs. It doesn't really solve his problems. This hero just has a shit ton of strength growth by default. And even though sustain can sometimes be a bit of an issue, a lot of that is solved by interacting with enemy heroes less and buying like early treads, basically. Where you can just walk up to the wave with level 3 tree, hit it like 2 or 3 times, and walk out. Like that's how Tiny solves regen problems. So I think the double bracer is just going to slow you down a lot, compared to a lot of other items. And you are a position-based carry, meaning like you're positioning because of avalanche and toss and stuff. And also a lot of the times you do plenty of damage. We just need to be able to hit them faster, in my experience. Yeah, one big habit to get into, I know you're still new to Tiny, is just throwing that tree on the last charge. So, like, I would be paying attention here where I, like, okay, so right now I know my second attack's going to be a throw. So, like, I do this, and then I throw it at this one.
Yeah.
Getting in the habit of consistently throwing the tree on the last charge is definitely a really important efficiency of Tiny. It's kind of the equivalent of the Geminate attack thing with Weaver. It's like in a vacuum, it's not going to make or it's not going to win or lose you the game, but it will pay off a lot over time to do that. So yeah, I mean, I think you'll notice that you're having mana problems, not HP problems. So just have Wand instead of Double
Yeah, I was gonna
Bracer.
ask about that because I think I asked about Soul Ring if it was any good.
No, so the thing I don't like about Soul Ring now is that, so I'm against Nyx, which is mana burn. I just wouldn't have Toss. Like, I wouldn't have a point in Toss. Because you don't have the mana to cast both, basically. So,
Yeah.
if I'm against, like, specific matchups that require me to toss the guy off of me when he goes on me. So, like Bat Rider, for instance, or like a Doom that's running me down, or like a Bristleback that's running me down, or like a Timbersaw that's like running me down. These are the type of heroes I might level Toss against, and it's almost always defensive. The only other time I might level Toss is if I have like a melee support to chuck on them. Otherwise, I don't generally value Toss very highly. There are niches for it, but overall, like 203, I think will on average be your build. And the thing about Soul Ring is if you go Wand and you skip Toss and then you buy the Voidstone of Echo Saber, you just don't really need the Soul Ring anymore. Like, you kind of just
Okay,
have enough mana. So Soul Ring in the past was pretty decent, but I think just with the build-up right now, you just don't really need it. This rotation is equally bad to the other one, and it doesn't surprise me at all that you're doing it. I know it actually works, but I don't like it conceptually because now you come back to your lane and like Nyx is ahead of you now. Do you see this? Like what I mean by what I mean by this? Sorry, I you may have responded, but do you see what I mean by this?
Yeah.
So this is the same thing, basically. Focus control on your own area. You're just going to be rotating between, like, you farm camps so efficiently with this. It's so much. The idea of these heroes is that they come online so fucking hard with like one or two small items that we just like want to play for those small items and control our area. And both Tiny and Weaver are both very hard to gank for different reasons, right? Tiny just has fucking 1500 HP for no reason, and Weaver has Sakuchi, right? So, it's really hard to approach the area of these heroes. Like, one thing is I played Necrophos versus Tiny yesterday, and like I love like Necrophos mid, and Necrophos is one of the hardest counters to Tiny because in the early game he's one of the few heroes that can actually boot Tiny out of lane. Most heroes can't do 1500 damage, right? But Necro just Qs a couple times and Reapers you when you're half HP. So those are the heroes that counter Tiny, just like kind of giving you an idea is like what beats him conceptually are heroes that can actually do 1500 damage. And that's because you just play this area pretty much. I think the only rotation you ever might make is you push out the lane and you see an opportunity to just go through the gate and kill top tower real quick. Where you're like, oh, that lane's pushing in, the enemy carries level 5, I can just like go kill his tower, and it's very convenient to do it. You're not TPing anywhere. It's low mana. It's like pretty low travel distance, right? That's pretty much the only rotation that Tiny or Weaver would make. So maybe don't take that one off the table.
Okay.
So like consider like if I'm really strong and I want to go somewhere else to just push the lane real quick and then go through the gate. I think that's a way more likely rotation than this one to mid that you're making. Yeah, because I actually think both games, I'm really happy it happened both games in a row because it shows a trend that you'll want to be active on these heroes, which is good. We just need to tone it down until like you're like the guy cranking back a slingshot ready to fire it, and you're just releasing too soon. So you still hit them, but it's like, a little ding instead of like a fucking rock through the face. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we just gotta hold the slingshot a little bit longer. So yeah, you like return to what you're supposed to be doing, which is just walking, pushing out the lane. I I do have like a tiny replay that I didn't scale very well, but the first 10 minutes would be very useful. Would you like it? Would you like to see it for reference or?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so let me just quickly give you the file. I'll show you quickly how to do it as well. So I need to get the file. Because it's like annoying to get IMMortaL draft replays. Recording or not recording, so replays, search. Okay. I can actually do this, I think. Okay, so here's the file. I'm sending it to you here. And the way that you do it, it's going to be on stream. Like, you can watch the recording back. But you have to open your console. And you have to put play demo. God damn it, how do I do this? I need to look at... Airfon made a video for me about this, and I always have to use it. Recordings. What's the command?
In be any happen replace the states.
Okay.
Be any we paste the match ID.
Okay, play
We press
demo
enter.
replays. Okay. So it's play demo, replays, and then the ID.
Okay.
And that file, do you know the file you have to put it in on your computer?
No, I've...
Okay. Okay, so this is this is what you're gonna type into console. I'm gonna send this to you here.
Yeah.
But then the file path that you have to put that file that I just gave you is oops. This is the file path. That you can click on that you can copy paste into your computer. And you just have to put that file in there. Okay, so quickly, I know it's a little bit tough, but you have to move that file to that folder. You have to reload Dota. Like, you have to start it over. And then you have to type that into console. The play demos, that. Any questions about that?
No, that should be good.
Okay. But yeah, so I think that will give you a really good model for how to play the first 10 minutes or so of the game, where you're purely focusing on your lane. And I think it applies to both Weaver and Tiny.
Okay.
I would have loved to give you the one that Yuma played of Weaver. I thought it was a really good example, but I can't get their replay, sadly. Okay.
Wait, was it during a tournament, or is it just
No, it was a pub. I was watching Thompson stream,
Uh,
and he was playing Bristleback off lane against... Let me actually see. Does Thompson have his VODs? Let me see real quick. I don't think he does. Videos. Oh, he does save them. Let me see if I can find it for you real quick. Maybe it was yesterday. He showed. Okay, here. It's not like perfectly ideal because you can't watch his perspective or like the Weaver's perspective. But if you'd like to watch how it feels to play against a really good Weaver, like this is what happens, basically.
Okay.
He just consistently played in his lane and pressured the shit out of Thompson literally for like 12 minutes. And it was like a non-stop back and forth between the two of them. And so it's just something to notice. Like what you did for the first 5 minutes against that Axe, that's what you're supposed to do for like 12 minutes. In the majority of games. Same with Tiny. As you'll see in the replay I gave you, I think. And if you have like follow-up questions about the replay I gave you, just let me know.
Okay.
But I think from what you've said to me, I think like we're on the same page of what you're going for. And then I trust that once you get your timings, you're gonna own. I'm pretty sure this is gonna like unlock you pretty hard because I think your map play. I remember seeing this with the Faceless Void game as well. I think your map play is generally pretty on point compared to other aspects of your game, which I think that's actually the harder part. Like the one that would take longer to teach you if you had to work on it. So yeah, basically on Tiny, I want you to think that you're allowed to show on creep waves for 2 seconds. And if you show on a creep wave, you are instantly a ninja. You're not allowed to hit buildings, basically.
Yeah, okay.
You're allowed to hit buildings with 4 heroes behind you on your team. Not the enemy team. But the idea being is that you can actually watch my game with this in mind as well, but I didn't do it as well as I would have liked to, but I still did it, is you are off map like 95% of the game. And it goes up to like 99% when you have a Shadow Blade. Like,
Yeah, I feel
yeah,
like I do that later on.
great.
I can feel that.
Yeah. So it sounds like you may be landing on the right way to play, like by feel after getting there. So if we can just accelerate it by like telling you, yeah, you're right, just do it earlier. On both things, like either do it later when it comes to hitting your item timings, or do it earlier when it comes to playing off map. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. So one thing I had to get in the habit of, because I used to play the old Tiny, is like whenever I finish a fight, I just like finish this camp. Like I would just do this and chuck the tree. I just chuck the tree. The moment I think I'm like done for a second, like I'd say less than 5 charges, I just chuck it because it's such a low cooldown.
Yeah.
It's just something to keep in mind that you have to get rid of your tree a lot. It's not something that used to be the case. Like walking around with a 3-charge tree feels pretty bad. I made this mistake several times yesterday or 2 days ago. But yeah, you did a good job there. You're playing off map. This is all great. You can definitely see how this fits your playstyle. So I tried Harpoon first, and I know from my former Tiny experience, plus how he works now, is it's just ultra important to go Daedalus like really early. You either go BKB Daedalus or just like straight Daedalus, because you just need your fucking combo to like one-shot them. I made the mistake. I think it's a mistake of going Harpoon. And I looked at pro replays and I noticed that they were going BKB Daedalus, then Harpoon.
Yeah, I feel like I had not the choice, but the inclination that I wanted to get a crit stick over the harpoon.
Yeah,
I
it's
took the
literally like
harpoon
it's
instead.
literally as long as you know your entire idea is my combo has to one-shot people.
Yeah.
Like, so the only thing that you would go over Daedalus is BKB so that you can fight, basically. Like you're thinking I'm not going to be allowed to combo them if I don't have a BKB. That's the only exception I would say. I think Tiny's usually pretty cookie cutter with the way that he plays the game. There are like there are exceptions, don't get me wrong. Like sometimes you'll see people go like instead of BKB Daedalus, they'll go like SNY AC, for instance. But like I think that's way better in the past, like attack speed based builds back when you had Shard that just gave you unlimited tree. I think that's like way more situational, and it might even be people not adjusting to the current Tiny. I only played 1 game of current Tiny, and I know in the past you had the 2 options. Basically, kind of like an attack speed mana build or a assassination Daedalus build. And I think nowadays, in my opinion, that's the only one. It's, you know, the way you scale is your items end up being Shadowblade, Daedalus, Harpoon, or Silver Edge. I mean, BKB, like Swift Blink, and a Satanic. Like that's usually what people end up with. Okay. So yeah, you end up going back for. I mean, like these are just nuanced things. You get there, you get there. You're even skipping creep waves, which is really nice. You were like going for Lotus, seeing if maybe anyone's there. Yeah. I see why you did what you did, and I don't fault you for it. It makes sense.
Yeah, this brood was kind of life stealing a bit too much.
Yeah, for me, the main lesson is that you haven't really needed Harpoon. I felt the same thing when I bought it. To just go the dataless BKB, then Harpoon, if, like, you know, because of slots.
I
Harpoon's
just
like...
felt that
Go ahead.
I just felt like they had like PA can blink out, IO can tether out, Broodmother can be a bit tricky with webs. I just
Tell
wanted to
me
like stay on
how he
top of
blinks
them.
out of this. Like,
I mean,
I know what you mean, but
yeah, like conceptually it makes sense, but like in practice, it just doesn't happen.
exactly. I know
It just
what you're saying, but they ain't blinking out of shit. Like,
yeah, it's like it's
yeah.
probably like the lesson that you said you're learning or you learned
Yeah,
about the Harpoon,
it is. It is exactly.
and it's me learning it in real time.
Yeah, and so that's why it's more like I totally get why you did what you did. It's just a matter of like maybe I can give you an exact explanation of what I learned, so you can learn it as fast as well.
Yeah.
Is Manta meant to be like a dispel against silencer and like PA dagger? Like, what's the idea behind Manta?
Yeah, global silence just doesn't feel fun, but
Yeah.
then that happens.
Gotcha. So basically, the way Tiny looks, like, it is quite a bait to like go high ground and stuff. Like, basically clear this wave and just walk to your team wherever they are. Like, we just need our team to be together. So, like, I need to get my Spear Breaker and my SF here. If they're not here yet, then we retreat and play off map. Like, we don't want to walk high ground unless our entire team is behind us. Because these, like, skirmishes on the map, like, we want to be a part of them always. So, like, if you want to get that kill, sure. Like, I would have walked like this, personally. I wouldn't even go for this kill. I would walk like this. If my whole team's behind me, I go for that kill. But, like, I'm just going to walk towards teammates in these spots. Like, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to be like, hey, guys, let's go across the map and, like, meet up with our SF and our Spearbreaker. Once again, if you set the limit of I'm not hitting high ground buildings unless literally every other hero on the enemy team is showing somewhere, so you're, like, split pushing, or your entire team is behind you. Those are pretty much the only two reasons. We just don't want to be Tiny, not fighting with our team on the map. Like, I want you to think that you plus Spearbreaker literally annihilates every fucking hero in Dota. Like, there's no hero in Dota that survives this, and we don't want to be giving them these advantageous fights. Looks like you might get away, which is nice. Very good. I mean, it ended up going way better than it could have, which is good. It is kind of this bait, though, because the hero hits buildings really hard, and you're also super tanky, and you're like, oh, let's just hit buildings. But at the end of the day, you're a map hero that just wants to be near the guys that kill people. And so, like, Spearbreaker Tiny is, like, fucking terrifying. And if you just did what you did 95% of this game without hitting that tier 2 tower and without going high ground and just look to connect to your team at all times, then it's going to feel like, wow, it's really hard to hit buildings. But it's just the way Tiny wants to play. So... as long as we don't have that be like a feels bad thing, it just is what it is kind of thing, then it's good. Looks like team got a little sloppy there. Okay. Fucking Knicks. Yeah, game got awkward, but I can definitely see the Manta. It makes sense. I barely lived there. Holy shit.
Yeah. I feel like if I die there, like, it just gets so bad.
Yeah, you guys might just lose if you die there, yeah. I mean, we can rewind real quick to that fight where your team died mid. Because my only question is, could we have been with our team in a way that's reasonable? And it's not sure. There's no for sure answer. So, like, if we rewind this to here, where you respawn. You walk towards top. I like that you walked. A lot of people I'm coaching TP there. Your team's just taking a fight in their triangle before you fix the lane. So, like, in this case, I think it'd be sick if you were ready to TP mid, but your team had already died. So there's really nothing you can do about that. Yeah, I actually like what you did here. Nothing you can do about this. We don't want to overfixate on this. It might even be a mistake that you TP'd here in general. Like, instead of just playing top, basically. But I understand why you TP'd. I think that part, like, you know, we don't want to take responsibility for things that our teammates are doing. Your tiny carries respawning and you're diving the triangle. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
Silencer hitting a tier 2. Very good. That's way more egregious than you hitting a tier 2. Yeah, so game gets chaotic. I mean, you just want these super chaotic off-map fights. Like, that's just all you want. And so every time, I just hope you see that the commonality is when you showed on map, that was when most of the bad things happened. Yeah, it looks like you clean it up from here. I honestly think if we just remove those early game rotations, we have you fixate on your lane for 10 to 12 minutes, and then you play the rest of the game knowing that Tiny's an off-map hero, playing for thresholds, and then, you know, Weaver is a little bit more nuanced than that, but I already think you had a good intuition of what Weaver does in the game. I think this will just clear up a lot of what you're doing. I think that's... I personally think this might be the most straightforward fix I've had in a while for coaching students. Like, for me, I'm not trying to say it's easy, but I think it is really that simple that the rest of it, what you're doing is really good. That's my thoughts. Yeah. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it seems like everything makes sense.
I'm curious. I've probably asked you this before, but just remind me, what's like your history with Dota? Like, how long have you played?
Well, I started in, I think, Christmas 2016, early 2017.
Okay.
And then I didn't actually like, I used to play like a lot of turbo and custom games, and I never actually like played like ranked or all picks a
Gotcha.
lot until like I don't know, a year or two ago.
Okay.
Because I originally calibrated Guardian like 1.2K, and now I'm here.
Yeah, you just don't strike me as somebody who gets stuck, like somebody who got stuck at MMR. Like, I'm not trying to like judge or label people who get stuck at MMRs, but like, you don't seem like you have significant mental blockers towards things. Like, obviously everybody has things they can work on, but it seems like you have a pretty clear vision of what you like to do in the game. Your intuition's pretty good. I think in these cases, by expanding your hero pool this little bit so you have more agency in the early game in certain games, and then you can identify games where you're allowed to be greedier and pick your comfort zone, I think that will open up your agency in games a lot, just by seeing the draft and being like, I either need a tempo hero or I need a late game hero. I think that would be like, I think that will, because you were mentioning just some games Anti-Mage and Void feel like shit. So
yeah,
I definitely think this is a great way to solve your problem. I think it's awesome that Green Man helped out and that we have people in the dojo that like know each other well enough to give each other recommendations. So I never like to set expectations unrealistically or in a way that puts pressure. I just really think that if you clean up that first 12 minutes to be playing purely tempo for your own lane with the occasional twin gate rotation, I think you're already like 90% of the way on heroes like Weaver and Tiny. They definitely fit your playstyle.
yeah.
Do you have any like final thoughts or questions about, you know, moving forward or what we've talked about?
I don't think so.
Okay. So I think ideally, if possible, we can look either. I think your options for the replay submission are either like one full Weaver game or one full Tiny game, or like, I think it could be more useful this way, but it's up to you what you get the most useful use out of. If you want to send me one Weaver, one Tiny replay where I just watch the first 12 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, I think that might be the most helpful thing to check in on, because I think the rest of the game is less useful for you. So
yeah, I can try that.
Sure. Whatever one ends up, like, if you feel like you run into a game where, like, I don't fucking know what I was doing on Tiny past 20 minutes, then, like, we can do the whole game on that. But just know I think
Yeah.
those are kind of your options for submitting. And I'll put that in the notes.
Okay.
Cool, man. I'm going to type up the remainder of the notes and then send them to you. Do you have any final questions?
No. Let's leave it at no.
Cool. Sounds good, man. Once again, I'm sorry for being late and losing track of time. Talk to you later.
Good.
Peace, man. See ya.
Yeah.